So the next step is to display our choices. So if we look at our JSON data, you'll see that the correct answer is inside a variable by itself. The incorrect answers is an array beside another different variable. So maybe what if we were to merge this along with this into one array of 4 elements? And then another thing to think about is we need some way to shuffle. Right? Because in my code, every time I insert the correct answer in the same spot as our incorrect answers, it'll always be in that spot, and therefore the correct answer will always be at the number 1 position, for example. So we have to figure out some way to sort it. So that's what we have to think about. So maybe here we already have a function to display a question. What if we have a function that says display choices? Display choices kind of thing. So let's create a display choices function. So let's see, we need to merge correct answer with incorrect answers. We also need to shuffle the array. Then assign our shuffled array to our answers. So let's create that answers right now. Answers, which would be an empty array. Okay. And maybe once we do have something in there, in our 4 choices, I can say, let me just say it's Shift Alt. Actually, I should toggle this so you can see what I'm doing. So, oh, you can't even see this. I pressed Shift Alt and then I dragged my cursor. So then here I could say answers and then some kind of a array bracket. We'll try that for now. Oops. There we go. So in here we can say 0. Here we can say 1. Here we'll say 2, and here we'll say 3. So here I'm just assuming that Vue will, figure out how to put those values inside these variables. And now that we've set our view, we can now go ahead and make that happen. We can populate this answers array. So here we need to merge. So let's figure out how to access our current thing. So our current thing is this dot questions here. So I'm just going to copy this. So this will get us our object. I want this value right here. So therefore I have to say dot correct answer. Now, eventually I'm going to put this value inside an array. So maybe I should just wrap the whole thing in an array. And then here I can spread my incorrect answers. So let me just copy this whole thing, paste it here after the 3 dots, and change this to incorrect underscore answers. And now that's going to give us an array of 4 different elements, and I want to assign it to our answers here. So I have to say this dot answers equals. I could do that. However, actually, well, yeah, that should work, and then we'll take care of the shuffling after. So let's see if that works. Check our root, and indeed it does. And look at that. Ooh, that's another thing we have to fix. So right now, the JSON is giving us some HTML entity characters, which if you kind of look up the definition, an HTML entity is a piece of text that begins with an ampersand and ends with a semicolon. Entities are frequently used to display reserved characters. So there is a way to get around that in Vue. So here under VHTML, let's see here. Where is it? Oh yeah, it's right here. Yeah, the double mustache interprets the data as plain text. So this is, if we were to use this, then we get the problem that we're experiencing now. But if you use the VHTML directive, such as this, then you won't have that problem. So let's quickly move. Instead of this syntax with a double mustache, let's use the VHTML equals, And then now we have to move everything from here into here and erase the double mustache templates. So let's see if I can make that happen with multi-cursors. pt2 equals, and then we'll grab everything here, cut it out, paste it in here, and delete everything in here. Save. Does it still produce the same thing? It does. I want to refresh, to keep on refreshing until I see that same question. Hopefully that same question will come up, or at least this, oh, there, perfect. This is the same question. And you can see that the apostrophes are now showing. Keep in mind though, whenever using this kind of VHTML, there is a warning. Basically, you want to trust the data that you're putting, because otherwise it'll lead to potential cross-site vulnerabilities. And same thing with our vanilla JavaScript .inner HTML. Same thing can happen. So just keep that in mind. Okay, so where are we? We are here, and we want to shuffle our array. Now, if you Google some kind of like vanilla JavaScript shuffle array kind of thing, you might come across a little trick here, which kind of looks weird at first glance. Let's see if I can find it quickly. No, it's not there. No, I didn't want that one. I wanted the one where they use the dot sort. It's kind of a neat little trick. Yeah, here it is. This one here. If you use a dot sort on an array and just use this here, you can actually create your own random shuffle array, which is kind of weird. You can experiment with that in Quokka on your own to convince yourself, and it's something that when at first glance, it looks really weird. But it works. So let's see. Actually, we'll use Quokka. We'll use the console to demonstrate this for a second. So let's say we have a const array of 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, if we say array and use that thing, it returns to us a shuffled array. Okay, that one's 4, 3, 2, 1. If I do it again, there we go. We finally get some randomness there. See? Cool. So let's that should work. And then assign our shuffled array to our answers. So, well, actually, you know what? This should already do it for us, shouldn't it? So let me just move that comment up there. So let's see. Does it still work? Yes, it still works. And if I now, this one's kind of hard to tell, but if I were to keep on refreshing until I see that same question as before with the for loops and maybe you'll see that the choices, yeah, see here, the for loop before was at the top and now it's at the bottom, so it's working. That's great. And that should also remind me that, let me just check if I were to refresh and see if the question, see the question also has to be fixed. So in the HTML, instead of this current queue, just delete that, put the HTML current queue in there, and that should resolve that as well. And I can tell already because these quotes would have been weird, but now it's not. So that's pretty good. It's working.